I'm Dr. Kathy Van Zeyl. I'm the Naturopathic Doctor here at Back to Health Wellness, and I'm here to tell you a little bit about cupping. So what exactly is cupping? So the origins of cupping are actually in ancient Chinese medicine. It's a technique that's used essentially to relieve heat, also to relieve any stagnation. So essentially used to bring blood flow and relieve any pain. There's a number of different techniques that you can use with cupping. The classic technique is usually essentially using fixed cupping, where we take a cup, we apply it to an area, we create suction, and essentially that's going to be drawing more blood flow into that area. So classically, you might see people that have big rings on their backs from some bruising that will happen with cupping. That's not necessarily the technique that I use, so I use a more modern myofascial adaptation of cupping. So with that, what I'll do typically is to apply an oil to a tight muscle, put the cup on, use a pump essentially to pull some of the suction out, draw blood flow into the area, and then we'll strip that up and down the length of the affected muscles. So what that's going to be doing, we're drawing more blood flow to those muscles so that we can essentially give the oxygen and the nutrients that the muscle needs to heal. At the same time, it's going to be stimulating the lymphatic circulation, which you might have heard about through my colleague Ashley Rochelow that did a video on lymphatics. So lymphatics essentially are your drainage system. They're what remove all the waste that's accumulated within the muscles whenever you have been having a muscle strain or a lot of pain and tension in that area. Besides this, whenever we strip it up and down the length of the muscle, we're actually actively stretching out both the muscle as well as the connective tissue that wraps the muscle, which is called the fascia. So when we do that, we're actually reducing the overall tension in the muscle, in the fascia, bringing the blood flow to help it to heal properly and helping to stimulate the lymphatics so that it can drain. So essentially the technique is going to be used for people that have a lot of chronic muscle tension that needs to be relieved. Sometimes if that muscle tension is actually constricting around blood vessels or nerves, you can see things like numbness in the hands or in the feet, and we can use that to actually relieve those areas of tension as well to improve the overall functioning. So next I'll do a demo on a patient of mine to show you how exactly cupping works. Alright, so I'm here with Ashley Rochelow. So she's one of our registered massage therapists at Back to Health and has been receiving some cupping treatments from me. So we just wanted to get a patient perspective on what exactly it's like to have cupping done. So as a first-time cupper, how did it feel for you? What did you notice?
One of the first things I noticed was it felt very much almost like a vacuum. It's almost like a reverse massage in a way, so instead of getting pressure applied directly to muscles, it almost feels like it's taking away pressure. One of the first things too I noticed is, especially as a first time getting it done, it is a little bit more tender, but it's beneficial. You can feel the benefits right away, and it almost feels, I don't know how else to describe it, almost like water flow is being allowed in. Like you can just feel any areas that are adhered or any areas that have just felt stuck or really tense just melt away. That's one of the best ways to put it.
Okay, so essentially that's reflective of getting more blood flow going into the area, usually reduce muscle tension at the same time. So Ashley, tell us a little bit about why it was that you wanted to try cupping in the first place. So what was going on with you?
So one of the main things that goes on with me is, again, I'm a registered massage therapist, so even though we use the best posture that we can while giving treatments, it's very normal to build up scar tissue, to build up muscle tension over time because you're repetitively using those muscles constantly. So I came in initially just for some, muscle tension, some fascial, adhesive stuff. And I noticed that like a big improvement just when I came in and got the cupping. I'll admit at first I wasn't entirely sure what cupping was, but Dr. Kathy helped to explain things so well, and I love cupping, so I come in as, when I can to get it done.
There you go. So there's a first-person experience on what cupping does, how it feels like, and what the benefits are. So thank you, Ashley.
No problem. Thank you.
All right, so we're gonna get going and doing some cupping here. So step one is to put the oil on the affected area. So for Ashley, she has a lot of tension in her shoulders and in her mid-back. So it also gives me a chance to see how tight everything is and see where the problems are. All right. Next, we have our cup. So it's a plastic cup. Classically, we use fire cupping. Don't use fire in this clinic, and it's actually much easier to control the pressure with plastic. So we put the cup on. We use this to create suction, to pull the tissue into the cup, and then we slide it up and down the length of the muscle. So while we do this, sometimes you will notice a little bit of redness. There can be some bruising depending on the amount of pressure and the amount of tension in the muscles. But we're bringing more blood flow, stretching things out, and helping the muscles and tissue to be able to relax. So that, essentially, is cupping.